Welcome back to Maths with Mrs. J. We've just done a video about exact values of certain angles. I'm focusing in this series on our radians, although we did use degrees in order to draw the triangles to get these values. Just bear in mind that 30 degrees is the same as pi on 6 in radians, 45 degrees is the same as pi on 4 in radians, and 60 degrees is the same as pi on 3 in radians. Now, I have also mentioned before during this series of videos about what I call horizontal reference and vertical reference. If you are wanting to get an exact value, so if you're asked to find an exact value of sine of 3 pi on 4 or cos of 7 pi on 6 or tan of 5 pi on 3, you would be a little bit silly to try and relate these angles to your vertical axis because it's much harder to do. It's quite easy to relate it to the horizontal axis, and so that's what we tend to do. Now, how you do this is by looking at, forget about the pi for a minute, you've got 3/4, haven't you? This is 1 pi here, and this is half a pi here. So 3/4 of a pi is going to be there, isn't it? So we're going to do that as a pi minus something. So what we're thinking in our heads is that 3/4 is 1 minus 1/4. So we're going to rewrite this as sine of pi minus pi on 4. So just saying that again, it's easier if you think in fractions to start with and then put it back with your pies. 3/4 pi is between 1 pi and half a pi. So we're going to do 1 minus 1/4 gives us our 3/4. Now, horizontal reference, we keep the same trig ratio. This will be exactly the same as sine of pi on 4. We just need to think about, is it positive or negative? Well, we're in the second quadrant and sine is positive there. So it's going to be exactly the same of sine of pi on 4, which is √2 on 2. Let's do another one. Cos of 7 pi on 6. Well, let's think about our fraction for a minute. 7/6 is 1 and a 1/6, isn't it? So we've got 1 pi plus a 1/6 of a pi. So we're about here somewhere. So we're going to rewrite this as cos of pi plus pi on 6 because 7/6 pi is 1 pi plus pi on 6. Now, we've done a horizontal reference, so it's going to be the same as cos of pi on 6, but in this quadrant, cos is negative. So our cos of pi on 6 is √3 on 2, and we're going to have negative that for this answer here. One more. Let's think about the fraction part for a minute. 5/3 is 1 2/3, isn't it? Or you could think of it as 2 minus 1/3 is probably an easier way to think about it. So we could rewrite this as tan of 2 pi minus pi on 3, which is the same as tan of pi on 3, because it's a horizontal reference, but we're in this quadrant here and tan is negative there. So we're going to get negative √3 as our answer.